welcome back to my channel. I am Riddhi and I'm currently studying MSc in Clinical Psychology from Christ University, Delhi NCR. And today I'm making a video on whether you should choose clinical psychology or counseling psychology as your master's. So with RCI coming up with new things, as in MPhil is there, MPhil is not there. Is MPhil going to be removed? Should I take a 4 years bachelor course or should I take a 3 years bachelor course? It's a very questioning thing. Okay, so let's start from the little start. So the course that was supposed to be BSc in psychology, 4 years bachelor's, after which you will get a RCI registered counseling psychologist degree, a registered license, that has no update as of yet. Next is your 4 years bachelor's and 1 year master's. So according to the NEP, there is going to be a shift, eventual shift. And the people who are currently doing the 3rd years in bachelor's are in the transition phase. So you might be confused as to, should I consider my 4 years bachelor's or your 3 years bachelor's? So according to me, if you're getting the option of having a 4 years bachelor's, you should go forward with that. The reason being that you can spend a year extra for masters, but if you eventually see that the 2 years bachelor's master's program is eventually removed, then you will be in a lose-lose situation since the NEP is coming into play. Now, if you are already planning on applying for a master's in clinical or counseling and you're confused between the two, and this is the perfect video for you, because I hope I can clarify that much understanding on the difference between clinical and counseling psychology and if it's a good option to take which one. So let's talk about the difference. I'm studying masters in clinical psychology from Christ Delhi NCR, and after talking with my seniors, here's something that is my personal opinion on this. So masters in clinical psychology focuses mainly on disorders, diagnosis, case history taking, MSc taking, case formulation, and things which are very clinical in nature. So when it comes to disorders, it will be in your fingertips. However, counseling psychology focuses more on therapeutic aspects. So people who are doing masters in counseling psychology from Delhi NCR are already taking pro bonos under supervision. They have a particular class. So clinical students have MCDS, that is basically where we're learning to do diagnosis, whereas counseling students are genuinely learning the practical skills for taking sessions, and they are taking sessions under supervision, not officially or in under any internship, but yeah, they are. So I would say that they are more you know they are more experienced when it comes to the practical skills of therapy, whereas we are more oriented with the approach of the theoretical aspects, case history taking, MSc taking, which is a part of the therapy. So when I was joining, I saw the syllabus for MSc clinical psychology, where we will be taught all the therapies. But one major thing that I feel is, unless and until we're actually having supervision and pro bono therapy, we're not going to learn a lot without any internship opportunities as to how that goes forward. Whereas counseling students will have to have pro bono therapies as a part of their course. Aside those, the subjects that we have are more or less similar, but the major difference being we're learning diagnosis, whereas they are learning practical therapeutic skills. So they are more oriented to the less of the disorder part, but more on the generic aspect, while here we are focusing mainly on the disorder part. When I was joining clinical psychology, I was like, if clinical psychologists can do everything that a counseling psychologist can, why not take up clinical psychology? However, now that I've taken masters in clinical psychology, I had changed my opinion. Getting a clearer perspective on clinical psychology has made me realize that I do not want to work in a hospital setup. However, if I want to be a practicing clinical psychologist, even in a rehab, I would have to have a license of a clinical credited psychologist from RCI. So I need my license, and in this licensing process, I need to go to hospital settings. That is why I will most probably have to work in hospitals, which is not something I'm keen at. So here is when I think that taking counseling psychology would have been a more beneficial option for me than clinical psychology. So here's a tip to all my juniors listening to this video. Please go for a clinical internship if you are thinking of taking clinical psychology as your career option, because that will help you get a perspective as to whether a hospital setup is for you or not. There are other fields of psychology, organization, child developmental, etc., etc., special education. Totally up to you, but you need a perspective as to whether clinical psychology is a field or not. I would say go to your faculties who are registered clinical psychologists to get a clearer perspective on how MPhil works. Because once you get a perspective on what MPhil is and what kind of patients you will be really dealing with, especially in government hospitals, that will help you analyze whether that's really for you. When I went for my last clinical internship, I did not think hospital was my thing. So, why did I take clinical psychology exactly? Clinical psychology helps you have a broader umbrella term. So, you are a psychologist after you finish your master's in psychology. However, counseling psychology students are already going to work under supervision for therapy. So, they are more accustomed to how therapy is given. Whereas what skills we would have is case history, MSc taking mostly, and alongside there would be a knowledge gap in the therapeutic skills between a counseling and a clinical psychologist for sure. That is something that I can still see at present with me and my peers who are doing counseling psychology. Now, disclaimer would be I might not be completely saying accurate knowledge. This is more from what I've gained from my seniors and what I am facing currently. And based on this, I have tried to give you a perspective and hopefully help you get a little clearer understanding as to if you should take up clinical psychology or not. I would say if you're very sure about doing MPhil, please do take up clinical psychology if you know it's your forte. If you are not, then I would say counseling is a better option for you. And eventually, if you're gonna go for research, like right now, my major aim would be going for somewhere for some kind of PhD program. Choosing the niche which you really like is more important than whether you're taking clinical or counseling. In that case, I would say applied or general psychology can also come into good handy play. Like MA in psychology, which you have in Delhi University, can be very beneficial, where you get to choose like an additional qualification at the end of your second year. Like you can choose clinical counseling, etc., etc., at the end of 3 year, 2 years master program. So you will have a specialization, but you will also have a generic knowledge on the other subjects. So you will get a better understanding of the holistic psychology knowledge than just focusing on one field. So that would be a better option to go for if you're very sure about you want clinical or you particularly want counseling. I would say go for the one that you're sure about. If you need any more information or query as to the colleges that you'll be applying for clinical counseling, I can help you that with that. My Instagram link would also be attached. Like I'll give you my username. It's psych cheese. So you can also text me there. You can also comment down on on my YouTube channel if you want any questions. CUETs are also coming up. And thanks for watching. This would be all.